Ideas are the currency of the new millennium. There's a quote from Bill Gates. What a great quote. Ideas are the currency of the new millennium. People look at me all the time and they say they want to make money. Or people look at me all the time and they say they want to get rich. And I go, well, how are you going to get rich? Well, I read a book by Bill Gates. And in the book, he said, ideas are the currency of the new millennium. You see, we've got it all messed up out here. What do we think? Well, we think if we had money, we'd be rich. We think if we had stocks, we'd be rich. We thought if we had real estate, we'd be rich. But the bottom line is, those are all byproducts of a good idea. Bill Gates says he was sitting in his dorm room at age 19. What popped into his mind? An idea. Microsoft. And here's what Gates said. He said, Microsoft didn't start as a company. It started as an idea. Now, the byproduct is he has stocks and bonds and real estate. So you understand something, that ideas are the currency of the new millennium. Quit looking for money, look for better ideas. What's the purpose of all of these videos? To give you good what? Ideas. What's the purpose of a book, a CD, a DVD? To give you good ideas. Let's go old school. Get away from Gates. Let's go to old school. Colonel Sanders didn't get rich selling chicken. He got rich selling his idea, which was his recipe. Mark Burnett didn't get rich off the show Survivor. He got rich off of the idea Survivor. And so the real question is this, what's your big idea? You've got to be looking for the right ideas at all times. That's what we're going to give you. Bunches of ideas. Now, here's the problem with an idea. Ideas only work if you're a believer. What do I mean by ideas only work if you're a believer? Folks, there's 4 categories of people. What do we mean by the 4 categories of people? 4 categories of people. There's what I call the perplexed people. There's what I call laughers and mockers, critics and skeptics, and then there's believers. Here, a young lady gets an idea. A young lady says, I'd like to go run a marathon. What does she do? She goes and tells somebody, and she says something like this. You know, I'm going to go run a marathon. She tells it to a perplexed person. The perplexed person looks at her and says, why would you do that? Now, what does that do to her? What does that do to her strength? What does that do to her stamina? What does that do to her driving ambition? She's just looking for some validation. Next she goes out and she meets a person, and they're the laughers and the mockers. She says, I'm going to run a marathon. And the laugher and the mocker looks at her and says, oh my gosh, what a stupid thing to do. Why are you going to go run around in circles for 26 miles? And they laugh and they mock at her. And then the perplexed person, they didn't get it. And so they just don't understand why she would want to go do it. Now, what happens next? Then she meets a critic and a skeptic. She says, I'm going to go run a marathon. You know the critic and the skeptic. The critics and the skeptics is the one who goes, that won't work. Why are you wasting your time? It's a terrible thing to do with it. So she's met the critic, the skeptic, the laugher, the mocker, the perplexed person that didn't get what she was going to do. What's your chances of running the marathon? Obviously very slim. You see, ideas only work if you're a believer, but here's the way it really works is this. Quit hanging out with negative people. Negative people drain you for what you are. If you're hanging out with a perplexed person and they don't get what you want to do, if you're hanging out with a critic or a skeptic, if you're hanging out with a laugher and a mocker, they steal everything from you. They steal your ideas, they steal your dreams. And so secrets of success is this. Make sure you're hanging out with nobody but a believer. Here's what a positive person says. Believers always say this, why not? What does a critic or a skeptic, a negative person say? Why should I? 3 questions for you to ask yourself. Why not? Why not me? Why not now? And be sure you hang out with the believers.